Welcome to the creative side of things,
where we empower and inspire business owners and entrepreneurs to tap into their inner creative,
from standing out in saturated markets
to debunking and challenging the status quo.
We'll learn firsthand from actual small business owners how they've applied creativity, imagination, and common sense to grow their businesses. I'm Javier, Chief Creator and Founder of High Ground Creative.
And I'm Megan, Founder and CEO of Cheek & Co Clothing.
I'm Gen X and her dad.
I'm Gen Z and his favorite daughter.
Oh, that's debatable.
Well, it's not up for debate. Together we are creative thinkers,
design experts,
branding gurus,
imagination igniters,
and coffee addicts. Keep listening and we'll prove it to you.
Hey, you might learn something.
Imagine that.
Ready?
Let's get creative. Foolish mortals.
Foolish mortals.
Look out for hitchhiking ghosts.
Grinning ghosts come out to socialize. Okay.
I was gonna sing Zippity Doodah.
Still like that song, and I will not boycott. Zippity, my oh my.
We have an episode today.
Plenty of sunshine
Heading our way.
Zippity doodah,
Zippity.
Mr. Javi's on your shoulders.
Oh,
It's true. It's factual.
Everything is satisfactual. Okay.
I'm
I'm very excited, if you can't tell,
show,
about
everybody.
this topic.
We are, we're giving some clues. Maybe somebody, I'm sure already know because the title is on the
podcast.
podcast. But yes, we are here. Welcome back, everybody. Good to have you. It's to my left.
I'm Megan Santana, his daughter.
I am Megan Santana. I am Javier.
I thought you said I'm Megan Santana.
I am Javier, her father. I don't have an identity anymore. I am Megan's dad.
Yes. I mean, that's been a while. Like your Chica's dad.
I am.
Is my camera good?
Your camera is really good.
Cool. Guys, we are really doing so good with our lighting now. As a photographer, I'm just so proud of us. We've come a long way. Shout out to you guys for still following after the first few episodes.
I know. Thank you for sticking around with us.
We're trying to figure out how to do this. We're new to this.
Yeah,
we're new to podcasting.
We're not going to be able to use that excuse in a few more episodes.
Oh, no.
So I don't know which
I think
number
our
this is.
game is really good now.
Yeah, we're doing well.
I like it.
Thank you, everybody, for your support. We continue to move forward and grow and expand and deliver. Our hope is that you're getting something out of this. And boy, do we have an incredible episode right here today, because this is something that's near and dear to our hearts, meaning Javier and Megan. I need my entire family, my wife Lisa, my girls, many families out there. We are very fond of, look, the cat's out of the bag, anything Disney. Today's episode is what I like to call the Disney details. It is something that is very important to us. And look, before we get started, I want to set some type of groundwork here of how much of fans we are of this, not just parks, but just...
Megan. Not just parks. So I do want to address, we are not Disney adults. That is different. That's cringe. We appreciate Walt Disney and what he did. And it's more than the parks. I remember watching documentaries about Walt Disney, documentaries about Pixar, documentaries about Disney, and watching them draw, and you and I would watch them together, VHSs of how they make movies, and it's so much more than...
Yeah, this is more than just Disney World. We love the parks. This is Walt Disney himself, his vision, his mindset. That he was so ahead of his time. I cannot imagine if this man was alive with that vision today with the technology. And he was an innovator. He was one of the most creative people in the history of Earth, and the fruit of his legacy continues over a century after he was born.
And whether you are a Disney guy or not, you can appreciate this episode and you can appreciate Walt Disney for the entrepreneur he was.
Right, he was.
So that's more of what we're hitting on and appreciating.
Right.
And a quick suggestion, if you are new to the Disney life, definitely watch Saving Mr. Banks. I think that's a really good introduction to like how awesome.
Yeah, he was a good guy. And that was a story about how Mary Poppins came about, but it shows
like
man.
the behind the scenes of
right.
what happened. So
no, it's really good. So we're going to get started like we usually do.
Yes,
we do this with guests,
ado.
but we're going to do some quotes. And today, in honor of the man we're honoring today, honor, we're going to have some quotes from Walt Disney himself. So I have a few more than you do, and yours are really good. So
yeah.
I know you're excited. You want to? Okay, you set the tone. Go ahead and say yours because I want to.
Okay, so one of my favorite movies is Meet the Robinsons. It's about a kid who wants to be an inventor, and it makes me cry every time when he gets adopted.
But this quote is Walt Disney.
Yes, it's Walt Disney, but they showed it because it was perfect.
Right.
Anyway, so it's around here. However, we don't look backwards for very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths.
Wow.
I love that quote.
You know, that's the heart of creativity and imagination is following your curiosity, seeing what's another alternative. How else can we solve this problem? You need to be curious. If you're rigid in your ways, there's no room for creativity. Curiosity is at the heart of this.
Yeah.
What say you?
So the big push point of that quote is we keep moving forward. And I think that's a repeating thing in our podcast. We keep talking about adapting, changing, and moving forward. So that's why that quote just sits awesome with me, but I'm excited to hear yours.
No, for sure.
I have no idea what his is. We do this a lot with our podcast. We kind of come in with our own opinions and our own views and kind of surprise each other.
And see what happens, right?
Yeah.
This is real time. Okay, I'm going to do, because you have a few less than I do, I'm going to do two. You can design and create and build the most wonderful place in the world, but it takes people to make the dream a reality.
I love that.
Right? I love this one. First, think. Second, dream. Third, believe. And finally, dare.
Ooh.
Walt Disney said
Believe
that.
and dare.
Believe and dare. You need to have
We
courage.
don't use the word dare enough.
We haven't. That's just the first time we say that
I
word.
triple dog dare you.
Ooh.
He's licking the microphone. If you understand the reference, but we're not going to explain it to you.
We're not going to spend it. If you haven't, you need to go get a life. Oh,
So I picked I picked this one because it always gives me goosebumps.
so you don't have any comments about the ones I just did? Or you
I
just,
did already.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Can we not dwell? We move forward.
We should dare not to dwell.
Yes. Okay. I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started with a mouse.
With a mouse.
And the reason I picked that one is because it's not for the quote itself, it's more of what it means. So it just shows that the simplest idea can become this huge thing. No matter what your idea is, whatever you want to do, it's not too small.
No, it isn't. So you have to take,
your dream is worth
He's
chasing.
taking care of Mickey Mouse is the symbolic in so many ways, and he's taking care of that character, and that character now it's the symbol of
now it's the rat cult. But no.
Little side story about Mickey Mouse. Since we don't have guests here, then we're not waiting for them staring at us because we're chatty.
We can chat all we want.
So Mickey Mouse was actually not his first creation. He created Oswald. He was I think it was a rabbit. And this is might not be entirely accurate here, but basically he lost copyright or trademark rights to Oswald when he started, and he ended up losing it. So he created this mouse, and then the name for originally was Mortimer Mouse.
That's what I
His
remember.
wife read it, and she's like,
She said, what
nobody's
the hell is
what's
that?
a Mortimer? So she's like, what do you think? So they came out with Mickey from that, and from then on. Last little caveat to the story is, I think within the last year, the rights for Oswald were opened up, and Disney got them back, and so Disney now owns Oswald again.
But Oswald just doesn't fit for...
Yeah, exactly.
Mickey's perfect.
I'm so glad that happened because Mickey is the man, the mouse, the legend.
the man, the mouse. Oh Why is that not a shirt? But yeah, we just
that should be a shirt.
it really should be. It probably. I'm gonna look it up. So there's so many. So basically, a quick summary of the episode of today. So the Disney details, the reason we called it that is because Disney, if you know or don't know, they are known for the details like as little as a pebble on the path in the shape of a mouse. Absolutely. It's insane.
The idea is that they everything they do is purposeful.
Exactly.
Every stone, everything.
Whether or not they think you're going to see it.
That's right. And that's the whole point. The whole point is that it doesn't matter if somebody doesn't see it, they know about it.
It's
and
the
that
thought behind it. It's not like searching for that like someone to pat them on the back. It's just, it's there. The magic is there to be found. The magic is there, and it's in every single thing. And what we're talking about today is, yes, calling out situations about this to cite examples, but also this is a mindset in your businesses, in your enterprises. If you have the mindset of actually, I'm not sure what's happening with our TV, but this is real time, so we're going to continue to move forward with everything. Giving us ads.
We have Apple TV ads on our podcast. We will continue. So as we continue to, so my point here is, and I'll bring this back on the screen. The thing is that we look at this and it's a mindset. It is just operating from a perspective of not overthinking it, but just looking at details and how can we make this better. I say this to you, I think a few times, and you and your sisters, don't in life end things with an exclamation mark rather than a period. Mm-hmm. Right. So I say it from a perspective of your effort, your involvement in something, your commitment level, going the extra mile. Mr. Bobby Jones, a colleague and friend of ours, talks about going the extra mile. That's the way I say it. Finish with an exclamation mark rather than a period.
And this is what we talked about in I don't know which episode, but we were discussing like my packaging. And basically the reason we bring this up a lot is because when all is done and there's a million people in your market, it's a saturated market, what's going to make you stand out? It's that extra magic. It's that Disney detail. It's caring about people.
You care about people. You care about that experience, not just a final product. Game. Right. And if you think about it, Disney focuses, the product always delivers, or most of the time. I'm not saying always, every time. But the journey of that customer to that experience or to that end result is also just as important. That's the Disney details. Everything in between, every single part. So what we want to do is, again, drive this home ad nauseum. It is a mindset shift. We're going to cite examples. We want to talk about things what Disney has done just to bring more context. And then we're going to turn it around and show you practical ways
that you can utilize this in your business
mm-hmm. to apply the Disney details.
Yeah, don't worry. We're not going to just be talking about RIP Splash Mountain the whole time.
Right. And you can see my shirt. I have to be in theme because all our episodes.
I will say I'm a little bit more skilled in this moment because I just came back from Disneyland. I'm going
you
to
went
Disney,
to California,
yeah, and then I'm going to Disney World in August.
In August, so yes, and I'm very jealous about that. I don't get jealous very often.
I've gotten my fiance hooked on it. He loves it. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Oh, welcome to the collective.
Welcome to the cult.
You have been assimilated into the collective. So let's go ahead. Let's shift and talk about some examples for Disney.
Yeah, absolutely.
That Disney does right now, especially in their parks, in regards to being very attention to detail. So maybe this will trigger something that I'm like, oh yeah, I see what they mean. So let's go.
So I have one that always stands out to me. Like as soon as we talked about Disney details, it was the music thing they do with the soundtrack changes as you walk into a new area.
Right.
That's the coolest.
They're playing music all the time. If you ever go to a park, it's not like blaring. It is subtle, but it creates a mood and an environment.
But it's different per area.
It is.
Which is so cool.
And smells, because you always talk about the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. We talked about that. We had it on
mildew,
our reel.
Right.
Yeah, it's mildew, but it smells so good.
That's the best smelling mildew in the world because you're in Pirates of the Caribbean. But everything is if you think about it, if you can hit more senses, hearing, eyesight, smell, taste, then you will remember that experience longer. So they use that So I don't know. Obviously, if you have an ad on Facebook, it's very difficult to. It's not like a scratch and sniff.
One day,
Right. So
I'm gonna manifest. That's gonna happen someday.
Right. But the
It's gonna be like Willy Wonka.
Oh
with the candy bar just appears and you could taste it.
You know, let me boost the ad. Oh, do you want smell?
I mean, we have chat AI or whatever now, so who knows?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, even as far as their trash cans,
they themed their trash cans.
Like what?
Look, I was at Grand Floridian Hotel. We had dinner at one time over there, and I was walking down the stairs, and I looked at the banisters and the railings, and I saw the detail carvings on this thing, and you could argue, wow, that's very expensive. They went through a lot. If they were just the same color and they were smooth, I don't think that it would have lessened the effect of that entire place. But that's the pixie dust.
Yeah.
That's the Disney details. Hidden Mickeys. There's a whole, if you do a search, Google search about hidden Mickeys, there's thousands all over all the parks, and people literally, when they find one, they take pictures and put them online.
It's so cool.
And that's,
even in the bathrooms, like you can go in a bathroom and the tile, there's a hidden one. It's really cool. Like they really care about their experience. So,
the customer experience is a very big part of it, because that's what adds value to you and your customers. Not only, obviously, you have to deliver on the product, but why not have it be a pleasure for that customer in their journey to that product?
Yeah. And a cool example of how it would correlate. Thank you.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Sorry.
What color is that?
With your business is one thing that stood out to me was when they are hiding construction. So you wouldn't really know it's happening. And I feel like you can do that with a website. If you have to work on a certain area, don't make your website all ugly and we're under construction, come back in a month.
Right.
Find some way to
kind of make
have
it
a home
part of the
page
experience. I just want to add to that. What they do when they are building within the parks, they cover the buildings that are they cannot hide because your line of sight is there, but there's a specific color they use that they have actually a patent, and that color, and maybe I wish I would have done the research to find out what that was and be able to say it here. But the color itself is something that is specific because it blends with the background, and so when you're walking, it does not distract. It doesn't hurt your experience when you're walking around the park, because obviously when they're doing construction, it's impossible
Go
to
away
hide.
green.
It's called Go Away Green. Do that Google search, people.
And blending blue.
Blending blue.
That's cool.
And they have patents on those colors.
Yeah, so it really does blend with the atmosphere. So if something's under construction, you'll usually see the Go Away Green a lot as their borders.
If you go to Universal or go to Six Flags, you will not see that. You will see the construction
worker from Florida.
Right. Butt crack showing.
Yeah. I went to Universal Horror Nights. Oh my God, it was so not great.
Not great places. We love them all, but it's not Disney.
It's not the same. Even Trevor was like, what is this?
What a concept. Attention to cleanliness. You do this the next time. I'm not. You drop a piece of trash on the ground on Main Street in Disney
Hopefully
World
by accident.
But, obviously by accident. Not too much. Don't make a big mess, and see how long it takes for somebody behind you to come pick that up.
Or when they're cleaning, this guy with his mop will draw a little Mickey on with the
mop.
water.
I've
It's
seen
so
that.
cute.
It's so cool.
So
How about the trash can that some of them are electronic?
Oh, they talk to you. It's just it's just fun. That's the whole point of going there, is to get out of real life.
Even though we don't like standing in line, and look, we have the Genie Pass and the Fast Pass, and we try to do that so we can get in there quicker. Their queue, their lines, they have just a backstory and a theme to them that at least softens the wait. It keeps you occupied,
especially the little ones. So they'll have games
like the runaway train in with the dwarves, Snow White.
Oh, the mine train.
The mine train. They have
literal
gems
gems you can play with, and Peter Pan you can play with the shadows.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So it is very powerful what that is, because again, attention to details. What details? The Disney details.
Yes. So we're gonna go into how you can implement your own Disney details in your business.
We kind of talked about it a lot. I want to hear what you got to say, and then also let's share, because I think there's a lot of things that you can bring to the table from your perspective and myself. How do we apply this, and some recommendations for our folks out there on how they can do that themselves?
And it's going to be different per what you do, service versus product. So take these with a little wiggle room to change them because it's going to depend on your business. But there's so many different ways. So for me, like my packaging is a huge way to have my Disney details, because even if it's, for example, like one of my dad's employees bought something from me, and I just remembered that she loves cows, so I threw a little freebie cow straw in there. It's just like she probably didn't like
you didn't have
notice
to do that.
too much, but it's just a little thing I did. Like, so just like, and I think when people grow, that's when it can be harder to have the Disney details, because you have to focus on all these orders, whatever, but maybe talk to your staff and make sure you're all on the same page about those Disney details. Right.
And the thing is, if you build that into your culture, in your company, in your business, and it's a mindset, it's almost like a value, one of the core values as far as, then it becomes part of second nature to them. So then if you do it at the beginning, as you continue to grow, it'll scale with you because it's ingrained into your culture.
And branding even goes into this, like being consistent in your branding. You see a lot of like businesses that don't know where they are in their branding, and they're just using a bunch of different fonts, a bunch of different colors. They're always doing a rebrand. Like, it's really important to stay consistent, and Disney does that. Like, everything's the same.
It is. It has to be. You have to, and it's purposeful. You have to stay. The more you grow, the faster you grow. You have to slow it down enough to take a look at those little details. There's things that we can bring up just in general, not specific to our businesses. For me, I'm going to cite one instance or a few. The things that might seem like common sense, but a lot of people don't do this. My proposals for our clients are branded. They have our mountains. They're very detailed. People have been told, wow, this is a gorgeous document. It's not basically a Word file at Times New Roman and the logo stuck at the top. Did I need to do that? I still most likely would have gotten the job, but it's
almost proving what you can do, because if you can't brand your own piece of paper,
thank you.
Then
no, you're right. And those little things are so big as part of this.
Like, imagine trying to get a client for branding and using like Comic Sans in your document.
Or my business cards are like perforated from inkjet. I bought it at Staples, and then you just made that.
And we talked about that today in our Master Networks group about I dress to impress because I sell clothing. If you I'm allowed to have a bum it day. However, if you see me in public and I'm wearing a trash bag, why would you buy clothes for me? So I kind of have to. And if I'm not wearing my own clothes as well, like if I don't even want to wear my own clothes, why would I be good to sell it?
No, you're right.
So you have to be your biggest cheerleader too. So that could be wearing your merchandise. So Disney, their cast members, they all have certain uniforms.
Yeah, they are.
They're expected to do certain things, so it fits their brand.
No, and what's interesting, Walt Disney said this. When you don't, everybody that works at Disney, they're not an employee; they're called cast members. And Walt Disney said, when you are working at the park or when you're anywhere, anything with the Walt Disney Company, it's a play. It's like an entire production. And everybody is a character in this production, and they're the cast, and everybody has a role in that story. So approaching it that way, the people are in character, the employees are focused, or the cast members are focused, and they know their role, and they know their place in the story, and they participate in it all the time. They don't deviate from that. A few things I want to bring up. These just general ideas. That we wanted to share with you about things that maybe might trigger a memory, or not a memory, but a thought, an idea, that little spark you might need. How about creating an immersive customer experience? We talked about that a few minutes ago. I don't know what that looks like in your business, but look at the customer experience from the beginning of every touch point in your business, and figure out how can we enhance and make this better, and in a way that aligns with your brand, but in a way that you can add that flair and that pixie dust and that Disney detail.
You can ask your customer about how their experience is going, or you can do it from their view and use a different browser, check out your website, check out as a customer or inquire as a customer and see if it's a flawless
experience.
Because if you get annoyed, then they're getting annoyed. And it could be the smallest little thing, there's a glitch.
There's a glitch. You have to be able to break your process to see what, and put strain in it to see what it is. But you have to be purposeful in there. It doesn't happen by accident.
What ends up happening for me is my business will kind of melt into my real life. So we wanted to talk about like designing your space with purpose. Mm-hmm. So I have a she shed, which is like a pole building, and it's 70s inspired, and my brand is 70s. Like imagine if it was 90s,
right.
like 2000s, it wouldn't make any sense. Like it all kind of flows into this mindset of my entire brand and like what I'm all about. And so not to like change gears, but your creative workspace is really important too like your Disney details, because you're experiencing your own magic, right. And then you're going to want to, share that with other people.
Right. No, I love that point, because that's the environment that fosters your creativity. So look at it. Look at your space. Look, you're now challenging me. I have an office at the house.
Yeah.
And it's a mess.
But it has a lot of Disney mugs.
It does.
It shows your personality a lot, even if you want to tweak it a little bit. Mm-hmm. But one of the best.
I need to put some candles. Do they have a candle for Disney stuff?
They have one that smells like Avatar or like Pirates of the Caribbean water. It's literally like an Etsy shop. He's blown away. So I need
to buy that. You need to give me the link for that, because I want to make my.
Because I literally I bought one.
Okay.
I bought one that smelled like the Grand Floridian.
I love that place.
I know you do.
We don't stay there, but we go there and I sit there. And
I'll never stay there.
It makes me happy.
Maybe one night.
That place just
it's
makes
beautiful.
me happy. I think this is so ingrained into our nervous system. Look, I'm a nerd about this. Look, I'm 52 now. I went to Disney World 1976 when they were celebrating the bicentennial of the United States. This is 5 years after they opened. There was only one park, and I still remember Winnie the Pooh getting mad at me because I was poking his belly. I think he shoved me. I'm still going to therapy about this.
Oh my God. It's ingrained in your brain.
I think if I asked my mom about this, she would remember this, because I will not forget. I think I was shoved by Winnie the Pooh.
Rude. I love when Winnie the Pooh is at the park, because he's usually catching butterflies like in the grass.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Or he's playing with the ducks, because there's like Disney ducks that walk around. Right. Anyway, we just love Disney. So one of the best compliments I got going back to my creative space, my friend was over at my she shed, and she was like, she hadn't been there in a bit, and I had really like decorated it a lot, and she was like, wow, I would get so much done in here, like it's such an inviting atmosphere. And I was like, yes,
it is inviting.
And I'm literally filming reels in there, and my background's gonna fit my brand, like it all like connects together. So I just think maybe if you don't have a creative space, get one and
work on that. See how you can make that.
Yeah, what is your creative space? It could be the kitchen, it could be your living room. It doesn't have to be an office.
Make it reflect your personality, because it's going to draw that creativity out of you. If you've seen any documentary about Pixar, for example, and you look at the workspaces for all the animators.
It's
so customized. Yeah. They have their things, and it's about them.
Your staff does that too.
They do.
They have their own creative space.
Mm-hmm. I've said, we have an industrial space here at Higher and Creative, and I try to allow, not try. We say, this is your space. You dress it up, put stuff on the wall, make it yours, so it feels at home.
A big thing Disney does is storytelling, and we started really diving deep into that when we did our social media episode.
Right.
And
so storytelling is important, because in anything, Meghan, you're really good at that, because when you talk about your products and your services, you tie them to you in your life. And then it's a lot easier to present this, because you're incorporating it into something. And I'm giving you kudos here, because I need to be better about that. But all of you just paying attention to that, it's going to pay dividends. People like anecdotes, and they like stories, and they will stay with you if you deliver it and you do it right and you tell a story consistently. It's a lot easier and better way to deliver a message. Walt Disney was the master of this.
And it's more than, hey, buy this. It's, hey, this is something I created and I feel strongly about it. Here's how I made it, and then support me. Because when I launched my entrepreneurship sweatshirts, I shared a backstory of why I'm doing this and the heart behind it, and it got way more traction than any of my other posts, because I was just sharing a story. And then people felt connected to me and wanted to buy one more than just because it's a sweatshirt.
Absolutely.
They wanted to support my story.
And when we know your product delivers, but if you connect and then you build trust. When you build trust, people will buy from you. Yes, you have to deliver, and she does, and we do, hopefully. But at the same time, we know Disney delivers, but he doesn't stop there. He starts the customer touch points, every single moment, the music, the sound, the smells, the anticipation, the build up, the story behind it. It's a huge deal.
If only they would create Disney movie theaters so that the experience at a theater would be like way better.
Oh, when you're waiting in the popcorn, because the other day I went to a movie locally here.
I know exactly where you went.
My Lord.
I felt bad for the staff. It wasn't their fault. They're like understaffed. There's popcorn all over the floor.
It was horrible.
You didn't even scan your ticket. You could have just gone in without paying.
Exactly.
Like
I sat down and I was pissed.
And then
I'm like, I want to watch Mario Brothers. And I'm
they
already
have a
mad.
bar. It was closed because they didn't have enough staff. Like I felt so bad for them, but it was like, where is the experience? Like it was so bad.
Oh, and they were playing these things on the screen, like trailers, but it was a looping music of something that came out in the movie theater 6 months ago. It's already out on streaming. It's on Netflix already. It's on Redbox.
It made it all the way to Redbox, and they're still playing it.
People, please listen to me. Please. Just if you take anything from this, pay attention to those things. If you have a storefront, walk in, look around.
Have a storefront in a restaurant, it's so important because yes, people forgive, but that first impression.
We're talking about it right now.
So surprise and delight is like a small way to do Disney details, but it has a big effect. So this could be anything from like leaving a note in a order to sending a thank you email after a session to how would you do that for like...
So surprise and delight is find ways to, it aligns with your branding, and you obviously don't do something stupid like...
that wouldn't like make sense.
They wouldn't make sense, but things that are...
essentially acts of kindness towards your customer.
Yeah. So you asked me, and I'm actually deflecting the conversation. Well, look, you'll probably know this, but something we're going to do here at High Ground this summer. I think I mentioned it maybe.
I think
in an episode.
one time you mentioned it.
Yeah, but we're going to do something called, because I'm a big coffee guy.
Yeah.
But I also love beef.
Okay.
So we're doing hamburgers and coffee at High Ground.
Yeah.
We're going to have a barbecue. We're going to have it in front. We're going to open up the garage door and then have our clients, anybody who wants to come over and have some burgers and coffee or both, they can do that. These are ways that we can kind of connect with out there. A few little things that I know you do is, just go far and beyond the expectation. I think that's the point.
Basically, yes. And we've addressed this so much in other episodes, but we wanted to make it like its own episode. And another way is my private Facebook group. We talked about that on the social media episode. That is an intimate way to just connect with my customers. But Disney does this one thing really big, and they celebrate milestones. Like they just did, was it 100 year?
Well, they were.
Or is it?
So it was a 50 year of the Disney World Park in Florida.
Okay.
So 71. But then now that there's the 100 years of the Walt Disney Company is now
So they just like really go all into that everything. Like from how the castle's decorated to the stores and what they're selling. So
I get the pins.
So I feel like when you share achievements like that, even though they are in your benefit, the customer, because they're connected to you, are going to be happy for you. They're going to feel like they helped you, which they did. Like they're going to feel included. It's like, guys, we did it. Like we hit 2,000 orders. Like you're including them in this like achievement.
That's a big deal. Like find ways to celebrate.
Yeah.
There's
like every
so
year for my Chica and Co birthday, we do a giveaway. Like, so this year will be 6 years, but last year, 5 years was like a huge milestone. So I made it a huge deal and I did pictures just for it. I did a big giveaway. Like it was all about it. Even though it was an achievement for me, it was giving back to them because they're the reason I was able to hit 5 years.
Oh, exactly. No, that's,
like without them, I couldn't do it. So it was all about them. It was Starbucks on me for one day. Then the next day was a huge giveaway. Then I was giving away gift cards and it was just like, thank you guys. Like, being thankful and then not expecting anything in return.
I love that. And actually, it's a 3-year anniversary in August with High Ground.
So you got to do something.
I want to even go deeper because we're talking about, anybody obviously can take a lot of this in your life and personally. It's not just as an entrepreneur and a business owner, but if I'm addressing entrepreneurs, if you're a solopreneur, at some point you might end up having people on your team and having so building culture is a big deal. It starts with you. That's an important part of this. So if you don't have that mindset, you cannot expect your team to have the mindset, your employees, your staff. So if you're in that place, look, Meghan right now has helpers and stuff, but she's a lone wolf, and from a perspective of she's sole owner, no official employees, but she has a lot of people help her, and different things and collaborative thing. At some point, her business is going to grow where she's going to need people in the warehouse. If I know for a fact that mindset's already there. So those people, I would argue she probably won't hire somebody that doesn't align with.
And
that
honestly, I think
mindset.
the only people who apply are going to want to be a part of the Chicken Co. team. Like they're going to feel that passion that I feel.
Right. So encourage your team, your employees, your staff, and help and live it to set the example, but then give them opportunities to express that. And like changing their physical space, creating safe environments for them to foster their creativity and grow internally within your company. Also, doing some type of exercise to help them improve their ideas and think outside the box.
Yeah.
Internally in your processes and how you work internally. I have 7 people on my staff, incredible team. They're like family, right? I care about them, and so I try to find ways. I buy them lunch here and there. We do things together, and so my point is look into that, because when it starts inside of you and it comes out, then in your team, then your customers, your clients, and your new clients, prospective customers will see that.
Yeah.
So it starts here, but it goes to here.
Disney details is not something you can fake. It has to be true from your heart.
It's not formula.
Passion spills out of entrepreneurs, and that makes me want to support them. So if you share that, don't be ashamed of being so excited about something you created and wanting to sell it.
Yeah.
Freaking do it.
Do it.
I love when people get excited and they're selling me something. I don't care. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so excited. I'm going to buy one. Like, you just get so happy for them.
Wow.
I'm so inspired. I think we should go to Disney.
Let's go. I think why don't we before we do our send up? I think you're in a good. I think.
Oh yeah, I'm satisfied with.
Okay.
Everything is satisfactual.
So I'm gonna. It might be a little pitchy, but I'm gonna start.
Please don't start singing.
When you wish
Sorry, guys.
upon a star,
All right, we're done. Cutting you off. And we just lost all of our subscribers. He's still going.
Megan Santana, you just won the co-host placement in the creative side of things. What are you going to do next?
I'm going to Disney World. Whoa. Like on the Super Bowl when they do that. Yes. Where are you going next? I wonder if any of them actually go to Disney.
They do, because the next day they actually are on the parade. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
See, that's a question that's just been in my head since I was a kid.
Thank you for sticking with me. I actually brought her home. So I think we're done.
I think you broke my mic.
I'm sorry, people. Hopefully
I hope that this
back.
helped. We are here if you have any more questions about Disney details. If you're have a specific question, leave us a comment on the episode. We're here to help. If you have any future suggestions for topics, we are also all ears.
Where can you find us?
Where can they find us?
Where can they find us?
Right here.
They can find us here.
He likes doing this so that I'm caught off guard, because we are on so many platforms.
You can watch us on YouTube.
Well, that's easy.
Search for The Creative Side of Things on YouTube. Where can you listen to us if you don't have time to watch?
You love when they watch.
I love when they watch.
Because he works really hard on our videos.
I do.
But if you just want to listen, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Google Podcasts.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Subscribe, follow.
The creative side of things. And you guys are our right brainers.
Yes.
And we love you. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. And
go create something.
Go create something.
Bye, guys.